What's going on, everybody? Today's Thursday, and I was walking around my 164th room today, and I thought I kind of want to do something Tomica related, but I mean, everybody kind of goes over Tomica and this and that. There's a lot of YouTube channels. Hot Customs is one of them. Excellent. So I figured I'd do something a little different. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Tomica then and now. Now, I have a decent Tomica collection. I don't have a massive Tomica collection, but I did notice that I have exact models from relatively back in the day and then modern stuff. And I thought it might be cool just to see where Tomica's gone from some older models to the new version of the same kind of model. So we're going to start off with this forklift. This is the Toyota Forklift FD200. This is a Japan base. So this one's pretty old. I picked this up at a show not that long ago. All of these older Tomicas I got all at the same time. So as we roll through these, just so you guys know, I got them all at the same time. Obviously, the forklifts lift, raise. You know, Tomica's big about having moving parts. You know, the funny thing is this is actually a very large forklift. This is a container stacker mover. This is a yard lift. You know, this is not a tiny forklift, and it's really funny to see this thing next to other models and stuff like that, just because the size is just ridiculous. But as you guys know, Tomica makes these to fit in the box. And yes, I do have the box. Now, Tomica has two sizes of boxes, as you guys are aware. And every model is designed to either fit in the bigger box or the smaller box. I really like this approach. It really brings consistency to the line. Now, nobody is going to deny you put a GR Supra next to this, for instance, this forklift, and you're going to be like, it's ridiculous. The Supra is as big as the forklift. However, the trucks and construction equipment, for the most part, scale well to each other, and then the cars and the SUVs and stuff scale well to each other individually. And I think that that's a good combination. You're not going to put a GR Supra next to a front end loader or a Hitachi dump truck. You're going to have a cement mixer next to a Hitachi loader or something to that effect. You know, it just makes a big difference. Now, the modern equivalent is, of course, another Toyota forklift. And this one's the L&F Gino. You still have the moving parts on the front. However, you even have moving forks, which is absolutely amazing. Awesome. This is obviously a much lighter duty forklift compared to the first one. But the casting is actually much larger, just because you're taking a model that's in real life smaller and still putting it in the same size box. So that's kind of how the box size works. Tomica definitely doesn't miss any kind of detail. They're very, very strict about that stuff. You know, the printing and everything on this is awesome. There is a light blue version of this I do not have, but there is a light blue version. I'm not sure if there's other versions, but I will pursue that light blue version at some point in time, because I definitely want to add it in there. Of course, being a more modern one, it's a lot easier to have the box. As I mentioned before, most of my Tomica comes from a seller in Puerto Rico by the name of PR Diecast for You. And if you're here in the U.S., it's just your standard $3.95 priority mail shipping. And if you spend $80, you get free shipping. And his Tomica models range anywhere from $6.99 to $14.99 if you're getting a single or if you're getting a Tomica long. And then he also carries Tomica Premium and some other stuff. Now, no, I don't know the guy. No, I'm not getting a deal or nothing like that. It's just I've had nothing but good experience with him, and I just want to let you guys know, if you're looking for Tomica, I highly recommend him. Highly recommend him. So let's compare these two next to each other. You know, I think the double wheels on both of them is really a deciding factor of the detail. They wouldn't be proper if they just tried to use a wider wheel, or even if they tried to mimic it with a base or something. You know, Matchbox does that a lot. They will make the base look like another wheel, but really it's not. Tomica does not do that. They will not skip. They will not do any of that kind of stuff. They're going to roll with it. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that they've come leaps and bounds ahead when referring to this model. Now, we're going to move on to another construction truck because, of course, and this is the Nissan Diesel. It's a mixer cab. It's got that gray print on the front. The cab does tilt open. I would show you guys that, but I was pulling on a little bit, and it's never been open and wants to stay there, so we'll comply. There is no interior on it, but that's okay because there's a engine underneath. Barrel rolls, you know, your typical function. You know, this was a very popular cab. They used this cab for a ton of rear sections, and I think that's perfectly fine. That's just like real life. This was a very popular model in Japan. And the box, it's a little rough around the corners, but it's not bad. The one thing that you'll be pleased to know is the modern version of this same cement truck still carries the same Tomica number. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Could not say that about the forklift. Definitely can say that about the forklift, but I just think that that's kind of a cool little Easter egg. Now, I don't know if that's intentional or not. It's my understanding that each casting will keep its number no matter what. So if they come in or out of the line, for instance, this would always be 53 no matter what. And I think that's a cool little thing about Tomica. Now we're going to move on to the new one, and of course it's still the Nissan Diesel mixer car. Now, I think that, you know, you can not only tell that their attention to detail, their quality of product has gotten better, but they haven't really taken a step back in anything. This model is not really something they could have excelled in. It's pretty straightforward. It's a cement truck. It functions. It does what it's supposed to. Still the same wheels. Still rocking the same wheels. The other one that I had, the older one, was a China base, just so you guys know. So it's not super old Tomica. Unfortunately, it's not a Japan base, but you know, it's still fine. The obviously the cab doesn't tilt on this one, but that's okay. It's a good model. It's a good static model. And of course, in case anybody's interested, the box. Although it's a pretty common model. Modern day Tomica is made in Vietnam, and their quality is just next level. It's next level. I really don't feel like you would get quite the level of quality in China. I do believe there is Tomica made in China. There's some made specifically for the Chinese market, if I am quoting that correctly. If not, please feel free to be like, yo, Brandon, you don't know what you're talking about. This is the truth. And I will totally agree with you. Okay? Like I said, I'm just trying to bring you guys some cool stuff in my collection, okay? I'm not your resident expert. So we'll see how it is. Okay? Now, this is one of the cooler ones, in my opinion. It's that same Nissan cab as the cement truck. But, you know, when it comes to iconic stuff, the SO is such a prevalent and iconic livery to be on any old school diecast, just like the Golf stuff is going to be that's on everything nowadays. I just think that this model just being so straightforward is so appropriate. I mean, it's just saying, hey, this is a SO tanker, and that's all we have to go. The tanker itself is got great detail on it. Those are stickers. Stickers are in great condition. Very happy with that. Same cab as the rest one. No interior. They both have green tinted windows. I don't know if these two models were anywhere near in the same release year, but I would assume so because these appear to come from all the same collection. Now, one thing I am going to ask anybody who is a resident expert of Tomica, obviously this model does not match the deco on the box. Now, all the rest of the models in this whole video do. If this is the wrong box, let me know. Tell me, yo, dude, that's definitely not the right box. But if it's the right box, you can let me know too. For now, I'm just going to assume it's the correct box. And, I have no other reason to question that. Everything else I bought and from this collection was good and accurate. So we're going to move on to the modern version. This is a UD Trucks. And the Enos, however you want to pronounce that. I know that's a big time petroleum company, but obviously it's not in America, so not fully aware of that here. But I really like this model. This model is completely printed up. Those are not stickers. There's a ton of detail. Even the tank itself, the base of the tank is painted to match the base. So that way you don't really tell the transition from die-cast to plastic, which is, one of those attention to details that Tomica does. They're excellent at that stuff. They always think about the little things. That's really why collectors like them. And why we're kind of jelly that these are kids' toys in Japan. When we get stuff like Hot Wheels, which are just not great, Not knocking Hot Wheels, they're not that great. The box, of course, for those who want to see the box. This modern stuff, it's pretty prevalent now. People that are collecting Tomica, stuff is becoming far more mainstream. They're getting more avenues to get it in the country. Even people in UK or even Australia are finding routes to get Tomica and stuff. So the more modern, newer stuff is not going to be really that great to talk about per se. But the older stuff is always super cool to see. So I'll throw these on there real quick. Just let them do a couple laps real fast. Now, obviously, I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I have some more Tomica coming. There is some weather in the south, which is going to delay that. So I had hoped to get those by Saturday, but I'm fairly certain that I won't get those until probably Monday or Tuesday. But I will showcase those when I get those. And those are brand new stuff that just came out. And hopefully you'll like that stuff because I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing it. The last model we're going to do here, I'm going to do backwards from the first three. I'm going to show you the new one first because I can guarantee you anybody watching this video is going to be like, oh man, I'm so sick and tired of seeing that at Walmart. This is one of the models that they brought us over at Walmart. It seems to be the biggest pig warmer of all of them. And I like this model. It's just nothing to mass together. I don't need a million of them. I do like the logo on it. I think that's cool. I think it's important for Tomica to have done that in the U.S. I know this is a little bit of an older deco for everybody else that is accustomed to Tomica. It seems like the stuff that we've been getting at Walmart is a year or two older models. So I'm not really sure how that works, if they have them laying around or if they're just reintroducing older stuff. I think it would be just easier just to give us some of the same stuff that they're releasing in other markets. I think that would be simpler, but that would affect the resale market, and who knows, maybe Tomica cares about that. Now, the rear section is removable. The two containers are connected together, and there's just a couple of pins that hold it down. I'm fairly certain all these modern container trucks would be swappable. You can move stuff around on them and whatnot. I believe there's a couple of different cabs. I could be wrong. I'm just trying to peek over my collection real quick, guys. I'm not seeing a specific container truck. I was thinking of something else. There's that Nippon, I guess is how you say it, hauler, where the two sides open up like butterflies. That's the one I was thinking of. So I'm a little confused on that, I guess. I apologize for that. I'm just going to do this real fast because I know you guys are sick of looking at it. I won't torture you. So back in the day, and that first one is a Mitsubishi Fuso. And this is also a Mitsubishi Fuso. So this is your back in the day version. It was still the double containers, conjoined as one. It was removable. I'll take them off here in just a second. Let it roll around. Now, it's a different chassis layout, obviously. I always thought it was interesting having the double steer axles. I don't know really the purpose behind that, because I know that there's not a whole lot of tractor trailers in Japan, so maybe that's kind of what this is it allows for a bigger, heavier load, but it's more maneuverable in the urban environment, I believe is what this is for. So now, the one thing that I thought when I first picked this model up, as I said, the containers are going to be perfectly interchangeable, and that is wrong. You cannot interchange the containers. Now, the overall sizes are the same, front to back. Thought that that'd be a little bit more smooth. I apologize for that. But they don't have the same mounting points. And had they had the same mounting points, that would have been kind of cool just to swap them around. But it doesn't really matter. I believe anybody that have a model that's this old at this point in time, especially one that's in good condition, you're not going to be playing with it. You're not going to be running it around and, shooting it off the countertop or something like that. But, those people that have collected over a really long time, they just displayed well together. And I think that the best thing about Tomica is that they cover every aspect. I mean, they do literally everything. They do trucks, cars, construction equipment, obscure stuff, farm stuff. I mean, you name it, they do it. Motorcycles, pizza delivery, three-wheel carts, I mean, Tomica does literally everything. And based on a country that is not very big, they have a very, very large selection of models, and they're not afraid to try to do anything. And they'll make it work. But it's pretty cool seeing them next to each other. Obviously, the modern Mitsubishi is a lot better. The casting itself, far more detailed. But the funny thing is I mean, they still do the same thing. They still have the same functionality, and they still have that same appeal. And like I said, these scale well to each other. They look good together. I throw something else up there, Supra, whatever, it's going to look a little weird. And as a matter of fact, why not? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. I know I keep talking about the GR Supra, but I kind of feel like Ferrari right now. So let's just... it's comical, right? Now, the Ferrari's an unbelievably fantastic casting. There's no doubt about that. But when you're looking at making a cityscape, this is just weird. It's just odd. But like I mentioned, who's really going to put a Ferrari right next to this Mitsubishi Fuso? You know, it's just not going to happen. But, you know, I hope you guys like this. I thought it was kind of cool. You know, I got this idea just out of nowhere. I literally just sat down and filmed this. Got it ready for you guys. Had some other stuff in the pipeline, but I really want to get this out there because I thought it was cool. If you guys like this, let me know. I'll try to see if I have any others. I can do some comparisons. Even maybe some other brands, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let you guys look at that Ferrari here for a second. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check it out. Other stuff, all of my other videos, I post every single day. Every single day, you'll see a new video. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.